Hello hackers, welcome back to Rust for Hacker series. Hope you are enjoying the series. Today we are going to develop an application that helps us to do web application password cracking, or is kind of a brute forcer. Hope you remember the log analyze app that we developed on as a third project. In that I mentioned about a tool called Hydra. In that, and I showed how to simulate web application brute forcing attack, and the log analyzer was developed based on that. And here we are going to use the same tool, and I'm going to explain why we need a custom brute forcer in some scenarios. Here the example is I have hosted one application, the same damn vulnerable application here. It's a vulnerable application by design, but it has some of the security features on the login page that prevents brute force attacking on a normal level, almost difficult. So the tool that I used there was a Hydra. I have the same script here, and here if you check the script is using two files, one username and password list files. One is username list file and other one is password list file. And inside the username I have only one username, and in the password I have a couple of passwords, almost 6 passwords. And here what I'm doing is I'm just saying is localhost, and it's going to be post request, and this is a path from the localhost /DVWA, the same path I'm mentioning here. And I'm mentioning after that I'm saying username and password and user token. What are these fields? And then I say login. Login in the sense this is a message. It checks if it has a login failed a message on the response. So what happens here is if you check the source code of this page, you can see that this is the thing that we are doing. We are submitting this form. Actually, we are trying to submit this form using the brute forcer, and the name of the fields are mentioned here. You can see it here: username for the first input, password for the second input, and there's a login button as usual. And here's the important part: user token. This user token, if you don't submit the user token when you are trying to automate this one, your login attempts will fail. So what happens here, I have hard coded this user token. Why? Because I don't have any facility in Hydra that helps me to fetch the user token dynamically, or it could be, I think, maybe, I don't know, first you have to send a get request to. So what happens here, I will explain how the token is generated. Whenever you are going to send a get request here, you get this page loaded, and every time when the page is loaded, each and every time this the DVWA's application is generating a different token for you. So if you check the source code of this one, here you can see a user token. It's a hidden field, and you can see a value here. This will be entirely different from the token that we previously that the application previously generated. So every time when you try to send a get request here, the token is generated dynamically from the server side. So the tool, the Hydra, fails on this side. I don't know whether it's advanced option that will help you to do that, but the Hydra, if this application helps, has any dynamic facility, what should be doing is we have to fetch the user token dynamically from before the post. So before the post, it has to do a get request. Then from the get, when it is receiving the response, from the response it has to fetch the user token, then submit the user token dynamically, then check it. So if it's not going to be the scenario, and if I'm trying with the hard-coded user token, what happens here is, see, I'm going to do that. See, it says 6 valid passwords found. That is because of another reason. In fact, why? Because I'm saying if the response doesn't have login failed information, login failed as a text, it is considered as a valid one. But in this case, if you really want to check this, you can check it using some other way. The real response comes here from the application is, I think, some token missing or some token mismatch message. I had to put that properly. Actually, I forgot that. So if that was the case, this tool would never say these passwords are valid. In either case, what happens, we don't have a facility to actually brute force this application, or we can confirm any username or password for this application. This is a scenario where you can apply your programming skills to develop a custom based application based on this scenario. So what we are going to do here, we are going to do the same thing that I explained. First, we send a GET request to this login PHP, and from the response text, we fetch this user token. Then we do a post using the token, this token with different passwords and usernames. So if the token is correct, and if we have the possible values of username and password combination, then definitely this will say this will return the correct username and password. So we are going to implement that as the logic behind this is going to be the same. For that, we have to start our new project. So we are going to start it as say password cracker, or we can say web password cracker. So I'm going to let us open Codium here. I think hope that the AI assistant that we set last time will work here. Otherwise, it will be a bit slower, because be familiar with the new things that we are going to add as dependencies will be a little bit. It may take time to be familiar with that, but let me check that. Okay, here what we are going to, we have to add some dependency for this one. The first dependency is as usual the request one. Request is going to help us to do the get and post HTTP request. So the other one is going to be the scrapper tool, the scrapper crates. These two external libraries will help us to fetch, the second one is going to help us to fetch the token from the response, and the first one is basically for doing the web application interaction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this one and going to add as a dependency in our cargo file. But actually we don't need any JSON stuff here. Instead, we need two things. The first thing, we have to be aware about this application is we have to maintain the session. But for this brute forcing case, I think you don't need to maintain any session state. But for the sake of practicing, I'm just maintaining the session state using cookies. And here I'm not going to do any asynchronous operation. I'm just leaving that to you. The same thing same application you can convert later as an asynchronous application. So the second one we need is the scrapper. For that, it just says this one. We're just completely taking that. and we don't need it to specify any features from that. I think it's completely just every example they just mentioned the same thing. So it basically, it has a function to iterate over the responses and fetching information, based on our requests. It's basically like the selector JavaScript options, somewhat like the elements and tags and other stuff in JavaScript. It works like that, that's using the same kind of syntaxes. So now we have the the external credits for our need. Now we just start. Before starting, it's always good to mention our requirement here initially. So otherwise what happens is the AI will suggest something very complicated. So what I'm going to use, I'm just going to mention my it identified what is the need here, but here we need client, not the. Do you remember the previous app project that we did for LLM? We used asynchronous client. Here we are going to use we are going to start with the blocking one. I'm just leaving it as an assignment for you. If you are interested in changing on this one, you can try to make it as asynchronous one. See, the second one is the AI opted, it's suggested for us. Yeah, of course we need this one, but we need not only this one. There was another one. The example was saying something here. If you come here, actually we need exactly this selector and the HTML. We need both from there. Yeah. Now we mentioned our external libraries inside our main source file. See, the AI is suggesting something for us. Okay, we have to create a client, but for the sake of practicing maintaining the state, what I can say you that try to do the cookie maintaining session. So in this case, actually there is no need of doing that because we are not trying to do any kind of interaction after the login. But going forward, when you're doing other web application automations, it's a good practice to maintain the state. For that, I'm just using the cookie here, cookie store, and just say it's true. Then you build, and instead of unwrap, it's a good practice to do the question mark whenever possible. As you know, internally it helps us to unbind the value behind the build, and if it's a OK condition, we will get the value behind that, or if it's going to be an error condition, it returns an error. So that's another important point here. As I shown in my last video, the importance of catching error. See, it's suggested here. See, when this thing happens, like the question mark, when you are using the question mark for expanding some result or error situation, it terminates from there. Like if it's an error situation, it just returns error, and the main function is always good to handle let the main handle the error. So when we are saying box, it is going to create this error object in heap, and since why we are using dynamic DVWA keyword is like it's called dynamic dispatching in Rust. So the compiler doesn't know what kind of error is going to be at the compile time. But when we are saying a dynamic DVWA keyword, it identifies the object in runtime, and this error will help us to catch what. It doesn't matter what kind of error is going to come, it will come under this one, this error. I will explain the dynamic dispatching later in another video. I'm planning to do one struct and traits video as a basics, so I'll explain more there. Now you just think that this statement will be maybe high chance not only this statement is going to be any statement that's going to use question mark, and it's going to return any error. So we are trying to catch the error in here using this one. So now we have the client. So let's say we have to mention the main important thing is we have to mention the URL part. So I'm going to say my base URL is it's some webpasswordcracker.com. It got it from I think it's selected that from our what to say, our project name. So AI is trying to help us too much, but not always is good to take the help from AI. You should aware what exactly it is doing. So now I have this as my base URL. Okay, it is showing error because I didn't return an OK inside my main. Now see, the error is gone. So now just imagine, okay, it's suggesting something. It's really good. Login URL, yeah, this is a login URL we need, but we don't need this slash here because we already added that on the top. So now we have the login URL. It's nothing but is combining these two and created that login URL. So the string that is going to login URL is going to have http localhost /DVWA /login.php. Now we need is, okay, we need a set of passwords to get, I mean, like, to work with, right? So for that we can create a function, maybe get passwords. Here I'm going to hard code the passwords in a vector, but in real time we can read it from a file, just like the Hydra is doing. Reading from a file doesn't matter. No, it's like it's not a big deal, but it will be a big deal when we are going to deal with big files. Definitely threading comes there. So yeah, we will handle those kind of situations when we are going to learn about threading in future. So here it's going to be, see, it is helping us. But as I said, this help is too much for us. We don't need this one. We just need a mutable vector that is going to have just say, yeah, passwords. Yeah, it's good actually. This is good now. It help to create that vector for us. So now vector has a method called push, and what I'm going to set, then test is good dot push. So I'm saying again dot string. So yeah, let me paste some. Okay, let's try this. Make some changes. SSW D. Yeah, I mean, we know the password actually, so I'm just trying to make it here. I'm going to give the original password and test me Okay, and then what I'm going to say passwords. No, you know this one, right? I'm not going to use a semicolon here because it's going to be a return statement. So what can be done here is, now we have the password. So let's say we are not going to use any username files, because if it's going to be, then the loop will be more. For the sake of making it simpler, like more simple application, I'm going to use, just say, let username equal to, yeah, it suggested that, and let passwords, not the password, let passwords equal to get passwords. So now we have our username and passwords as a list. The next thing is, yeah, for password, okay, passwords, I don't know what exactly is doing. The AI is suggesting some stuff. Okay, let us finish that. Then we check about what exactly is suggested. Now the passwords in password, and I think it's suggested really good. We are trying to do low post using the URL that or to say that based on the URL that we suggested here, the AI suggested us we have to post to this URL. Okay, the best thing here is it suggested the field names, username, password. By default it just suggested us this one, and if the response is successful, it says you have to fetch information and say blah blah blah. Okay, this is good, but this is not the function that we need. We need a function. Okay, it's better to make it a user defined function. So we need a function that is going to say function just brute force, and the brute force function needs okay, just say client. We need a client and it should be a reference, otherwise the ownership model, that's going to complain. Yeah, of course we need a login URL and a username and password. Yeah, definitely. And then here, of course, it's always good to yeah, the return type we will decide. And what we can do is, we can, as I said before the post, actually the AI suggested this one, but this is not the way we have to work. This is the same way that the Hydra is working. It is trying to submit the post request first, but we need to do a get request first, then we have to fetch the user token, then we need to submit a post request. So for that it should be smaller because it's going to be a variable. So what you can do is say let get response. For the get response, we are going to use the client, and get the URL is the login URL. Then yeah, just send it. Instead of this one, we will be using the question mark because the safest way. So yeah, because we are going to use this one, it's always good to use the same return type as the main function is having, because we don't know what kind of error is going to return. So just try to make it this one. Oh, did I do it correct? Okay, no, I missed the R. So yeah, so the get response is done. Now we have the get. So now we need the actual get HTML response, you can say. For that, yeah, this is we can take the response text like this, using the text and wrap. So it's nothing but we are trying to get this one. See, now we have this as the response, the entire page, the entire content will be coming to us as a response. So now what we need, where are we? Okay, here. Now what we need is you have to fetch the user token. So fetching the user token is going to be the next task for us. So what we do is we try to fetch the user token from here. So let's try what exactly the method is giving. The scrapper has different methods. Basically what we have to do is we have to supply the HTML that we have as our response. Then we have to use a selector option to parse our required element. So controls, I don't know what the name is. I think let us check how exactly our token is. It's an input type and the name is user token, and we need to fetch the value from here. So the scrapper has different options. So maybe is there any direct option that shows input, then that will be really good for us. I don't know, this one, yeah, I think this one is doing the same thing. Oh, now we have actually we have an HTML response. So what we need is we need to parse the document, like here they are using parse fragment, maybe only one. Yeah, this place they are using parse doc. I think this one is a good option. Like fragment maybe having I think fragment doesn't have the entire HTML part. See here, it has it is starting with the doc type HTML and then parsing the document. So we will be using the better way, I think. Let us parse this. Okay, let us take this statement and add here. So here you can say this is going to be so what was the HTML type? Yeah, this was a string literal type. So I think, yeah, definitely we have to make this as string literal type, because the present one it is returning this string type. If you want to convert that, you can use the method as str. So now we have the document parsed. So the next one is selector. Oh yeah, it's suggested. That is really good. The selector statement, what we need is From the response we have to select the input field with the name username, not username actually. AI suggested the syntax for us, but actually the name of the field is not username. The name of the field is user token. User token, where is the source code? It's going to be user token. And once we have the user token, we need the actual value from that. So the select, now we have selector. So using the selector, what should be the next step here? I think this one, after getting the selector, the fragment or document, whatever it is, then select, give the address of the selector, I mean as a reference of the selector, then next and unwrap. That will give you the actual value inside the selector. I think we can take this one. This one will be helping us, I think so, because so the instead of fragment we are going to use the document. The document, then so what is giving, okay, here, oh, this is a, okay, once we use this one, we get the value. So from that, I mean like the input, the actual, we will have the actual input field that we are looking for. So now we need to fetch the value from the attribute value. So you should be knowing those kind of stuff, because see, this one is the name of the field and this is the type, and this is called the attribute value, like what to say, this is the attribute of this input type with the name user token. So if you want to fetch that, you have to mention the attribute value. So where's the code? I think so we can take this one and maybe, so I can say this is going to be let user actual user token value. Oh yeah, it says suggested, I think it's correct. Input value, this is the one we copied, right? I think this is same as that we copied. Yeah, this is same. So this time A is correct. But I think this one is return, I mean the return value was a string literal type. So now we have the user token. The next thing remaining is we just need to post it. For posting it, actually it suggested, I mean this was suggested by the AI. This is the way how to post your request name, then you have to mention the form. On the form you have to, we are passing a reference of this called a tuples. I think you can pass it as either tuples or hash map. Okay, here I'm going to use the same method this one was using. So let me copy this. This is the one that is suggested by A. So now we have this one here, login username is correct, password is going to be correct, login URL is correct, but we need some more fields here. It doesn't end here. So when you are going to programmatically doing, it should be you have to supply every field. So what are the other fields that we need to do? We have username, password, and there's a submit button with a name login, and the value of the login is also login. So we have to submit these two, like both are same, like both name and value are same. So here in this code we may need to add that too. Username, password, where is it? Yeah, here. With the username and password we have to add two more fields. The next one is the login, and login name is also it suggests name and value both are login. And that is really the beauty of it identifies security law also. That is really good. I think it knows about this application, I don't know. So user token is correct. The login field and name, both value and name are correct. User token, we have the user token value here, and yeah, this is almost correct. We are sending it. After now we are posting it. Now as per the logic, everything is correct for us, like at least what I'm thinking. We send a get request, then we fetch the user token, then after that we are submitting the values with the user token. And this one should be returning one more thing. When we had to analyze the application seriously, whatever it is, just say, when you say, see, this is the effect of the previous attacks. Sometimes, see, do you remember that value that I have given inside the web attack script? What it was? It was login failed, but see now, because I think it's due to the time or something. Even if normally, so if it is going to be CSRF token is incorrect, let me try. See, this one is showing because the token that we submitted with this request was not the correct token. One more thing, this is called CSRF token, and I forgot to mention that. This is a way of preventing attacks like brute force. Not actually, the real CSRF token is not used for preventing this kind of brute force attacks, but it could be used for this one, because adding a hidden value with dynamically generated token from the server side, it is always an extra layer of protection from these kind of attacks. But the real use of CSRF token is something different that I will explain when we come across that part. So here, if see the other token that actually we did send, we accessed that login page and we didn't submit the login page for a long time. I think that might be the reason it was saying the token was wrong. Now it's saying the login is failed, because now we have a new token and the token is valid, and we tried wrong username and password. So now it says the login is failed. But I think if you keep it for some long time and without refreshing this, I didn't check the source code of this one, but I'm expecting that the source code on the server side, it may check the token value, like the expiry date of expiry time of the token. So if you keep it for a long time, I think it's getting expired, and that's why we did see the other message, the CSRF token was invalid or something. So what we can do here, this is going to return again another just like the get response is going to return another post HTML response. So what I'm saying, what we can say, post HTML response. Just like here, we are unwrapping it because we just use a response variable here. That's why it came like this. Previously we were using get response and get HTML response, and here we are just using response, and we are just taking the HTML part from here. And what we can do is, now we have the string. So if this, what to say, post HTML response, oh that's good, and then login failed, it's login failed, right? Yeah, it's login failed. So actually it is returning this. So I think it should be a string, not the main function type. You can say string type, because we can we can return a string based on the result of this one. I'm going to say in both cases, okay, I think in this case I can return error, say format login, okay, that's something is saying, but that is no login fail with, okay, the good thing is, I think it is better to mention the username and password. Username and password. Oh, this is good. I don't know why it's in. Why can't we use toString? Because we're going to take the ownership from here. So I'm just letting it as a return statement. So if the response contains login failed, it is going to return an error. So if it's going to be an OK condition, so what it's going to do is, you can say login success with username. That's good. This is the best part of AI when you are trying to use inline AI option. Like I had showed this on the first video. We are using Codium, so it's suggesting, like, it saves, actually it makes a lot of sense for me, because it helps me to be more familiar with, stick with my logic than the syntax stuff. So it suggests the syntaxes. Sometimes it suggests a lot of blunders, but you should be aware what exactly you are doing. So once if you verify the code, you can accept that code from the AI. I think this one is fine, because if it's an error, we are returning, if it's a login failed, we are saying it's an error, otherwise it's an OK. That's what we said here. If it's a OK statement, it's OK here. So now come back to our what to say, the main function. What we have to do is so main function inside the loop. Yeah, we don't need this one. Inside the loop, now what we have to do is, we have to say after sending, calling the brute force method inside the main function, and we have to find out the result. So just call the main brute force function with each password. So what we can do is try, because the main function basically is returning okay, say make it meaningful variable, like brute force result equal to this with the password we are sending, And if what to say, okay, what we can do is, yes, always better to print the brute force, right? Yeah, brute force result, try to print it. If brute force is okay, yeah, this is really good. Oops. If brute force is okay, then I think it's better. Okay, what if we use a question mark here? We will get the string, and instead of this one we can say here we have this result here, and we have to break it when if the result has successful, right? So if brute force the result contains, login success, that's the one we are returning, right? Login success, yeah. And now we can print it, and then we can break this loop, right? Otherwise, where is the loop start here? I think this is not needed. So as per our requirement, that I think we achieved what we wanted. No, it's what is there here? Oh, it is saying what will happen instead. Oh, it's okay, instead of this one, if I say what is this one, okay, what could happen here? Login fail, username. What is the error is suggesting? Compiler dynamic states, it says into URL is not implemented by, it's two references. Okay, what if I think, yeah, we don't need this one. It was suggested by A, and I'm saying we don't need that one. Now what is the issue here? Is this okay? This is a syntax issue. This is the way we learn stuff. So what is the error here? This method string exists in the article. Okay, maybe I didn't check. This one came from the A. Is it correct now? Is it to string? Let me check. I got this by the A now. What is the issue here? What I'm saying, okay, what it is saying, expected to be, this is a way I had to say this syntax is correct now, and this one is having failed, then we have to return. Okay, what if I return? Will it be correct? Or Okay, what is okay, let me check the some syntax issue. Oh, it is not allowing me to send. What if I say if I'm going to retain this value? Okay, format. What if I convert this to an else statement? Oh yeah, it's correct. So now I have both situation and I'm just returning value from here. So what is error here now? Login was success. Login success with username. Yeah, it has issues. Okay, let me copy this. I don't know what exactly it says now. What if I copy and paste? If you really I got into the issue of that rabbit hole. Now the syntax issues, I couldn't figure it out, but I think this case is fine because in both cases we are returning the value, so the compiler will identify that. I think login success. See, it is not showing any error. I don't know what was the other error. Might be some syntax issue, I don't know. So I hope this will work. So let us try this. Maybe we can, what is it? There's a couple of commands that we can try because it's not formatted well. So do the cargo format first. Oh no, what was the cargo FMD? Yeah, now it is formatted well. This is too much formatting. I hate this multi-line stuff. Okay, whatever it is, it's a rusty way of doing things. So now do a cargo check. It will identify issues. Okay, no issues. Okay, now let's try. Did we set up everything correctly? The login URL brute force, yeah, this one, login.php, everything is correct. So cargo run. Yeah, this is something that I hate really in Rust, but no, it's it guarantees runtime performances, so you can bear with this one. It's trying to download everything for you because we referred to different external packages, means crates in rusty language. So we need to wait for some time to get it downloaded into our application and make it working. So it's downloading, I think, but believe me, it's much faster now in latest versions. I still remember when I started using Rust 2 years before. After I tried with this one async operation, I tried to add the Tokyo runtime reference in my application. It did run it faster, but for compiling it was like the first time I literally went for a coffee. And even after I came back, it was trying to download it. I don't know what was the issue. I tried it on Windows machine, but that really really helped me to think about Rust again, because I know that if you have some application, if you want to see the result or something after compiling, and it's going to take this much of time. I mean, now this is fine because you did better. Or see, it was saying login success with username admin and password as password. So our brute force attack was successful. Why? Because we were doing it the way that we wanted. We were fetching the user token and submitting the token with the username and password. So what could be, suppose, so we are not printing if like we're just printing only the success case here. So if in case else, what we can do is we can try to print this one. So we try it again. So this will help us to identify what are the other wrong ones it tried. Oh, I should have, now see, now it printed all the failed cases. So it failed admin and password as admin password pass, admin password, this one, and the last one, yeah, it's successful. Because yeah, this is a way something we can think of customized application development while we're dealing with your projects, when we are doing something related to, it's not only for pen testing or some, there might be other situations where we can, our programming skills will help us to overcome the scenario. And this is just a sample, very high level. I know high level in the sense we didn't touch any low level resources on the systems. It was, we were just utilizing REST, request and scraper packages just to do this one. So this is the difference that between the Hydra and this one. In Hydra, we had no option to do this in this way. But I'm not sure if somebody is really good in Hydra. I didn't dig deeper into the Hydra options of having this one. But I think even if you have the option, it might be another headache to handle those, because we need the user token first before submitting the post request. So definitely it's going to be not going to be a feasible way of doing it in using Hydra, because whenever the system's having this kind of blocking, like now the good thing is, I mean, real time is not going to be the same, because you may have so many blocks like captchas and other stuff. In that scenario, it is not going to work. These kind of brute forces will never work. So this is just for the learning purpose we did, and the main aim for us was to be familiar with the rusty way of dealing stuff, especially like the error handling and the other packages that would help us to automate our web application pen testing scenarios. So that's it for this video. See you soon with other one. And if you really enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing, because I need to spend a lot of time to making these videos. And the other thing is, I strongly recommend you to edit this application according to your need. Definitely this will be there in my GitHub package, where I have uploaded all the other video codes, source code of the other videos. So this will be there in the same place. You can freely download this and try to edit, try to make it more faster using async operations if you can, and try to see what's the difference between how the app perform under the normal operation and async operations. Try to experiment and try to learn new things from this one. We are going to dig deeper into the next level of this. We will be doing more projects on this web application side. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to prepare for that. So it's a bye for now. See you soon with other web application automation.